Okay, this is a 1959 Morris 1000. It's got a standard A series engine. The engine's not been opened as far as I can tell. I'm going to show you some magic. So we'll just give it a start up. Of course we all know these things start beautifully. A bit of choke. Here we go. Nothing unusual about that. But you see on here we've got some wasted spark coils, and down there is your standard distributor. Not quite standard in this case. What we'll do is engine's running, of course, as you can see. I'm just going to remove the distributor cap, and my goodness, the engine's still running. Of course, you can see there's no rotor in there. And the reason of that is because I've taken it out. They're not very efficient rotors, and nor plugs and points. But what are efficient is modern coils, and this little thing in here, which is an atom ignition computer by Link Engine Management. And basically what's that doing is picking up the rotation crankshaft. That crankset's down there. It tells me where the crank is with regard to 720 degrees of rotation. The secondary indicator I want for spark management is to know where top dead centre on number 1 is, or top dead centre on anything, to be honest. So I've taken the rotor out and I use the points to simply indicate where number 1 should be firing. I send that data off to the atom over there, and I have got a throttle position sensor here on the distributor, carburetor, sorry. And that tells me what position the throttle's in. I put all that data together and I drive the wasted spark coils, and what that allows me to do is to put really good spark in when I want it, and allows me to manage the advance and retard when I want it, with the aid of this little map sensor down here, which is tied into a vacuum tube on top of my inlet manifold. All this is just junk, of course. This is an old chair leg off of something I found in the rubbish. These were second-hand coils I found on an old car, bits of old pipe and tube. A TPS you'd have to buy, they're not very expensive. Second-hand coils, doesn't cost you anything to take the stuff off a car. But as you can see, I now don't need to worry about points, plugs, or points going out of setting. I don't need to worry about water. I've just given this a wash with the steam cleaner, and as you can see, it runs perfectly. It took probably about 3 or 4 hours just to convert it over. There's nothing you couldn't take off and put back on in another 2 or 3 hours. I've put a couple of relays in there just to manage a little bit of current draw. So why did I do this? Well, sick to death of not having an old engine that won't start properly, particularly if it gets damp or wet in the winter, which they do, or splash from rain. I no longer have to adjust the points. I don't have to worry about the timing. I don't have to worry about my plugs fouling. Actually, I don't have to worry about anything. It just runs extremely well. And for a very inexpensive bodge job, of course you could do it a lot neater and a lot tidier if you could be bothered or had the time or the expertise, which I don't have. And the real cost to this was probably the Link Engine Management System's little atom electronic ignition handling system, which will handle fuel injection, of course, if you wanted it to. You haven't gone that far in this case. So there you go. Very easy modification for a very popular old school car that just makes it usable and drivable on everyday roads all the time, and I don't have to worry about all that maintenance. Hope you enjoyed that. I'll show you some more later on.